Hi, I am Mark, and in this short free presentation I will reveal a weird secret formula that I stumbled upon by accident. This very formula will give you the power to make any woman desire you so badly that she will experience an intense and almost uncontrollably overwhelming urge to be with you all the time. I'll show you how to use this secret formula and make any woman feel a special kind of attraction which is so emotionally addictive that she will want to be with you and only you till the end of time. But before I get to it, I want you to stop whatever else you're doing right now and pay very close attention to this presentation, because it's not going to remain online for too long. This presentation contains controversial secrets, which can do a lot of good or a lot of harm depending on how it's used. Therefore, I don't know how long this video will remain online. I can almost guarantee that this is nothing like anything you've heard or seen before. So make sure you watch it right now while it's still available. At the end of this presentation, you'll find yourself shocked and amazed in a good and a bad way. I'll explain why in a moment, but before that, I want to tell you something that you probably aren't aware of yet. Do you know that there's a timeless, secret formula known to less than 1% of some very rare men on this planet, which can make any woman literally obsess over you regardless of your looks, age, or financial condition? I want you to take a deep breath right now and imagine something for a second. Imagine feeling sweet tingles in your stomach when you finally witness the same super hot girl who didn't want to be with you and even told you that she doesn't see you as more than a friend, literally turn into an obsessive stalker who won't leave you alone and yearns for you so badly that she can't sit straight. Imagine how powerful you will feel when you can give a woman strong adrenaline spikes on the very first date and make her heart literally freeze and pound at the very sight of you. Just imagine a first date where a blisteringly hot girl is sitting nervously in front of you and keeps biting her lips trying to think of the right thing to do. Imagine her sitting there with a restless posture, planning and obsessing over every detail, and struggling to string a sentence together because she doesn't want to screw up her chances with you. Imagine feeling the sensation of pure joy rushing through your bones when the same hard-to-get woman tells you that you're the perfect guy for her, and with a loving glare of a puppy dog in her eyes, literally begs you to become her boyfriend. Imagine how good you will feel when this same woman tells you how badly she wants to be with you, and how she will turn into this hopeless wreck without you. Imagine how relieved you will feel when the very woman who dumped you for another man tells you how irresistible she finds you now. Imagine her wanting you so badly that she starts chasing you like crazy and desperately wishes to hold you, touch you, feel you, and get close to you once again. Just imagine how envious and red-faced other men will be when they burn with unwanted rounds of jealousy watching you effortlessly make any woman go ridiculously crazy for you with red-hot and almost raw desire. Imagine the surprising look on their face when they see you making extremely super hot and almost impossible to get women emotionally yearn for you with so much intensity that it's almost too good to be true. I'll show you exactly how to make any woman desire you so intensely and deeply that she will depend on you like a fish depends on water. She will feel an almost electrical frenzy of attraction for you and will find herself almost enslaved by your raw magnetism. In fact, this formula is so powerful that it makes a woman experience a subconscious level of addiction to you. She wouldn't want to stop, and it just wouldn't be within her control. I'll show you how to evoke certain feelings in her mind and body, which will make her feel utterly addicted and hooked to you and only you. Her stomach will do somersaults in excitement when she experiences a pool of intense desire rise up in her body at the very thought of you. Don't be surprised if a woman craves your love like a newborn baby craves his mother after you discover this formula. And the best part is, this formula is so damn simple that you will feel almost silly for not having discovered it earlier. Sounds impossible, right? I can almost see you sitting there shaking your head in disbelief, and I don't blame you for it. After all, what I've said is hard to believe and even sounds impossible right now. But I want you to suspend your disbelief for 5 minutes and watch this presentation till the very end. What you're going to discover in this presentation will be one of the most important things you'll ever learn. My name is Mark Raymond, and I am not some big relationship guru or a psychologist with a fancy PhD to my name. In fact, I am an everyday, average guy. And here's a true story that makes me feel a little bit stupid when I think about it now. I am what anyone would call the common man, which also means that most of my life has followed a constant path of having to settle for less than what I desire. Right since childhood, I knew that I wouldn't amount to much in life. I was full of insecurities, my looks being the biggest one. I had a very odd-looking nose. Not only did it have a very weird shape, but it was long and stood out. The first thing anyone noticed when they looked at me was indeed my nose. I still remember a certain incident very vividly. I was around 13 years old when this girl in my class said, "Ew, your nose looks like a parrot's beak," and the whole class laughed out loud. I felt an extreme sense of anxiety and a huge lump in my throat. I wanted to cry, but it meant that everyone would laugh at me even more. I immediately got up from my seat and ran to the exit. I ran as hard as I could, with tears flowing down my face, and went into the washroom. I stayed there for the next several minutes and cried it out. People referred to me as the parrot after that point, just because my nose looked like a parrot's beak. I became the laughingstock of my school for this very reason, and you can imagine what kind of damage this did to my overall self-esteem. Now I want to fast forward the story to a time when I was 24. I still remember that day very vividly. I was on the phone with my girlfriend with tears burning down my face, literally pleading and begging her not to leave me. She told me that she was never in love with me. She had a year-long affair with this guy named Andre, but could never tell me. She felt that there was no other way to do this, said sorry, and hung up the phone. She never responded to my calls or messages after that point. The moment she hung up, it felt as if someone punched me in my stomach really hard. I was shell-shocked. I felt dizzy. I believe that was my first official panic attack. I was about to collapse, but grabbed onto a chair to balance myself. With whatever energy I had left, I called up a friend and asked him to get me some help. I was admitted to the hospital for the next few days, and doctors confirmed that it was a panic attack. I couldn't believe what she had done to me. I was still in denial. Some part of me still believed that she is probably joking and will come back home soon, but that was never going to happen. Never. I don't think you'll be interested in what happened after that, so I'll fast forward to the part which you will be interested in. In the coming months, my situation went from bad to worse to absolutely awful. I looked like I hadn't eaten in ages, lost my job because I couldn't gather the energy to go out daily, and still obsessively thought about my ex-girlfriend. One day, while lying on the bed, certain thoughts started to enter my mind. Thoughts of my childhood and how girls used to make fun of me. Thoughts of how I used to get shaky legs around girls, how I always thought that I wasn't good enough. And then something hit me. A part of my mind said, things are bad because you let them get bad. Something inside me said, you are better than this. They say that out of desperation comes liberation. This experience did both for me. I promised myself that I'll never ever let this happen to me again. Ever. I vowed to get this area of my life fixed once and for all. So in the coming days, I read hundreds of books, bought tons of courses, and studied everything there is to study relating to dating and women. But then, while going through a specific course, I came across a weird psychological secret. In fact, it was so weird that I never thought it would work. But a part of me wanted to give it a try. So one day, while I was out with my buddies, I saw this super hot girl sitting all by herself at a table. She was wearing a little red dress and was constantly looking at her phone. I figured she was waiting for someone. But then something inside me said, go approach her. Try out that trick on her. Without thinking much, I nervously went up to her and introduced myself. What happened next didn't just surprise me, but completely blew me away. Within 5 minutes of conversation, she gave me her phone number and told me she'd be waiting for my call. I thought it must be a fluke, so I tried it on more women. That night, I got 4 phone numbers and kissed 1 girl. I was on top of the world. I thought to myself, how in the world can it be so easy? I felt a sense of relief, but also a sense of regret for not having discovered this secret earlier. In the coming weeks, I used this exact secret to get more phone numbers and get physically close to 3 ladies. I'll spare you the details. I now had the perfect formula for attracting any woman I wanted, and knew exactly what to say and do to make her feel literally addicted to me. I shared this exact secret with some of my buddies. At first they laughed and said that it's stupid, but once they tried it, they too were blown away with the results.